Next on Worcester News Tonight, finding Vanessa Marcotte's killer, where the investigation stands 1 month after her death. Plus, no relief in sight from the drought. A look at how it's impacting central Massachusetts on the eve of a big announcement from the city. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Andy Madison. It has been 1 month since Vanessa Marcotte was murdered, the 27-year-old killed while jogging in Princeton. Marcotte was in town for the weekend visiting family. Since her death, authorities have spent a lot of time gathering evidence in the woods where her body was found. Audrey Assistio has a look at the investigation.
Investigators still chasing down leads exactly 1 month after Vanessa Marcotte was killed. Still, no arrests.
We don't know if they're here, we don't know if they moved on, but just that a human being could do that to another person is just very unsettling.
Police have been looking for a man who may have been spotted driving or parked on Brook Station Road 1 to 3 p.m. Sunday, August 7th. That's where her body was found, naked and burned.
We are just amazed that this has happened. We have a daughter that age, and our heart breaks for everyone involved.
Authorities have since sent DNA for testing. No word if they've already received the results. And about 2 weeks ago, NECN interviewed a man who said police questioned him and took his DNA in connection with the case. He's denied any involvement. Now, police haven't said whether he is a suspect. So many questions people who live here hope will soon be answered.
That is our hope, that they will find someone, bring them to justice. That's the only way I think everybody in this community will be able to sleep at night.
Investigators say they have been working around the clock and will not rest until they find justice for Vanessa Marcotte and her family. They are asking anyone with information to call their tip line, and that number is 508-453-7589. In Princeton, I'm Audrey Assistio, Worcester News Tonight.
District Attorney's Office releasing a statement today saying they've received more than 1,000 tips in regards to Marcotte's murder. The man wanted in last week's armed bank robbery in West Boylston has been caught. Westboro police found Matthew Alden Jr., the man seen in this picture, sleeping in a car in a parking lot off Route 9. Alden was taken into custody after a short scuffle with police. He is accused of robbing Commerce Bank in West Boylston. The suspect was also involved in a police chase in Berlin on Sunday. Several Worcester police officers officially moving up in the ranks today on the police force. 6 officers taking the oath before family and friends at City Hall today. 4 officers were promoted to sergeant and 2 were promoted to the rank of lieutenant. They were sworn in by the city manager, who says the officers' hard work reflects positively on the city.
Great honor, because you see people who've worked hard, who are really dedicated professionals, who make the city proud every day by keeping the city safe. And when you see them being recognized and kind of move up in leadership responsibilities, it's a really special moment for them and for their families and for the city.
Speaking of law enforcement, police officers wearing body cameras is a controversial issue that is getting a lot of attention in Boston and is also one being studied by the Worcester Police Department. A pilot program is expected to start next week in Boston, where 100 officers will wear cameras. Originally, it was supposed to be voluntary, but since no officers volunteered, the police commissioner had to assign the cameras to officers. Well, the police union filed an injunction against the cameras, and a judge will rule later this week on whether the officers will have to wear them. Now, here in Worcester, Police Chief Stephen Sargent says body cameras would be a big help, but says they need to study the cost and the legal issues around them before moving forward.
I believe for public safety and officer safety, they're good to have, but there are a lot of other issues, legal issues and budgetary issues that have to be addressed first.
Now, the Boston Police Union says they are not against body cameras. Drought conditions only getting worse as each day passes without significant rainfall in Massachusetts. The governor's office is starting a drought emergency fund loan for farms and small businesses. While in Worcester, city leaders will gather tomorrow to possibly announce more water restrictions. Our Jennifer Zarate looks at the current conditions around central Massachusetts.
Been extra work for us. We've had to spend a lot of time and energy watering the trees.
At Tugas Family Farms in Northborough, the abnormally dry weather this summer has led to hard labor in providing water for its crops.
We've made the investment over the years to install an irrigation system on the farm. So we were set up to be able to handle a situation like this.
Co-owner Andre Tuga says the pond water they use is down for the season, but it got them through the summer.
We're coasting to the finish now. The trees don't require much water at this point. We're just looking to keep them happy so that they don't start to shed their fruit.
The Baker-Polito administration announced Wednesday they've launched the Massachusetts Drought Emergency Loan Fund. It's aimed to help family farms and other small businesses impacted by the historic drought conditions. Governor Charlie Baker says the drought conditions are being felt everywhere. Here in Worcester, city manager Ed Augustus says the city will declare a Stage 3 drought within the next day or two.
We could be in critical situation.
Augustus says the 90-day forecast for the city doesn't look promising in terms of precipitation to help refill the reservoir system.
We have one reservoir that's completely offline, that's not even able to be used, and many of our other reservoirs that are below 50%.
Meanwhile, Tugas Family Farm says their fruit is already grown and waiting to be harvested. Andre advises,
if you're a fruit or vegetable grower, I'd advise to invest in an irrigation system.
With the drought affecting family farms across New England, Andre encourages guests to go out and visit local orchards for a quality family experience at a reasonable price. I know I'll be making a visit to pick out some apples and pumpkins this season. In Northborough, Jennifer Zarate, Worcester News Tonight.
City Manager Ed Augustus is expected to be part of the group that will make an announcement tomorrow around 11 a.m. updating the public on drought conditions. To Auburn now, and two high school teams kicking off the football season tomorrow by honoring fallen Auburn police officer Ron Tarantino. The Top Cop game pits Auburn versus Leicester and will help raise money for the Tarantino Fund. Tickets for the game are almost sold out. Officer Ron Tarantino was shot and killed during a traffic stop in May. Today, the Auburn team held its final practice. Rockets football coach says tomorrow night's game will be an emotional one for the Auburn community.
We're happy that we think it can be part of the healing. It's two communities coming together, and not just in Officer Tarantino's name, but I think there's also be a lot of reflection towards, police officers and first responders, and, both locally and state and nationwide.
Dozens of volunteers from Leicester and Auburn are helping out with tomorrow night's game. The game will be broadcast live right here on Charter TV3, starting with a pregame show at 6:30 p.m. A new electronic tolling system is expected to go into effect next month. The Department of Transportation is holding hearings all this month to inform drivers about the changes. The state says electronic tolls will save time and will be safer for drivers, but there are some who have concerns about the new technology. Our Rosalind Flaherty reports.
We're all about making sure that people are paying their fair share to give us the ability to give them a safe environment to live their lives every day on our roads.
Pretty soon, toll booths along the Mass Pike like these will be replaced by what the state calls a safer and more environmentally friendly option. The new electronic tolling system will go live October 28th. Scanners are already in place along the roadway.
It's easier and it's simple because you don't really have to keep stopping and having to give up cash.
The Department of Transportation says drivers who already have an Easy Pass transponder will be billed as normal and could actually save some money. Drivers without Easy Pass will have tolls charged to their license plate and mailed to them. They will be charged 30 cents per toll, along with a 60-cent mailing and processing fee.
It costs us money to process your transaction, so is that fair for the 2.4 million people who have gotten an Easy Pass transponder issued by the Commonwealth to pick up that tab for you?
MassDOT held a public hearing Tuesday night at Union Station to discuss how much it's going to cost the average person. Residents raised a number of concerns, including privacy.
Our goal is to create revenue to run the road. It's as simple as that.
The whole entire Big Brother thing, they're watching over us anyways.
Administrator Tom Tinlin says if people choose not to pay, the state will hold onto people's information as long as they need to.
Make sure that we can prove that they've gone through several gantries and have never paid when they're either renewing their driver's license or their registration, similar to a parking ticket.
Some drivers we spoke to say this new system will make it a quicker ride down the pike.
If everybody's sort of the same, it might make might make traffic a little bit better.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
The state is asking a Worcester social service agency to pay up after an audit finds several issues, including inappropriate payments by MassHealth to the organization. State Auditor Suzanne Bump released the audit earlier this week. It claims Centro Las Americas Inc. in Worcester improperly used more than $57,000 in state funds for trips to Puerto Rico, golf outings, meals, and gifts. Centro released a statement today saying they are the target of misleading and inaccurate allegations. President and CEO Juan Gomez says they are caught in the middle of a dispute between MassHealth and the auditor's office. Centro says they have well-documented record of sound fiscal management, and they will work with the auditor's office to fix any issues.